The premier of Manitoba, Mr. Pallister, did a press conference the day before I arrived, the Thursday, and he said that I was not welcome. And he said something like that: if I'm coming, I will have to empty my wallet. So didn't want to have any opposition there about what they were doing on the lockdowns and curfew. And actually, Manitoba, they're up to now, I think, the worst province because they are thinking now to have vaccine passport in Manitoba. It's not official right now, but I know that the government over there is working on that. And so I've been arrested and cuffed and treated like a criminal just for a non-crime after a political gathering. And I went in jail for maybe 8 or 10 hours, something like that. But the Crown wanted me to, for my condition to be out, to pay $1,000 just to be sure that I would be back in Manitoba July the 26th on my hearing. For sure I will be back because we're going to win that. It's against our constitution. But also the Crown asked for a lot of conditions, me not using social media anymore, not speaking. All these conditions were going against my freedom. And so my lawyer said, we will agree to pay $1,000, but with no conditions. So, and after that, the judge came and he said yes to us. He said, okay, $1,000, and to be sure that I'll be back there. And without any, all the crazy conditions that the Crown wanted me to agree with. And that's why I said it's a political repression, because they didn't want any opposition, and they didn't have any opposition in Manitoba. And that was the cops that arrested me were not from that little town. As you saw in the video, they were wearing jeans, yeah. And they brought me to the police station over there, and all the other cops over there had a full uniform, the RCMP uniform, and these two guys didn't have the full uniform. And I know when I was there, because one of the guys said, where are the restrooms? So they didn't know that little police station. They were coming from Winnipeg to do a political job, to arrest me, to stop me to do my two rallies that we had planned. The one in Winnipeg and the one the Friday night. So that's why I'm pretty sure that it was directed toward me and from the premier of that province. Congratulations. Yeah. So, and after that, I've been arrested around 2:00 p.m. and I was able to leave the police, the jail actually, around 11:30. But the funniest thing is, the judge said he will have to give $1,000 cash. So I was with my volunteer over there, and I told him, "Can you go to a bank machine?" I didn't have, when you're in jail, you don't have anything. You don't have your cell. You don't have your cell. You don't have your watch. You don't know what time is it. It's a little cell. You don't have your shoes. You're right. You have the right to your socks, your pants, and your shirt, and that's it. And it's a little cell. I was alone in that cell, about 8 feet by 8 feet, with a toilet in the middle, and a lot of cameras around, and so you have to wait. You don't know what time is it. Actually, I asked the police, "Can you tell me what time?" He said, "Oh, I don't know." No. But when I was there, after that, the police said. The judge said you have to pay $1,000 cash. So my guy came with $1,000, all $20, and it's coming from a bank machine. So we count that, and the police look at that. Rules changed last week, and we cannot accept cash. Mm-hmm. But so I said, the judge said $1,000 cash. Yeah, we cannot here accept cash, so we'll have to bring the cash to Winnipeg. At the head office. So Winnipeg, it's about an hour and 15 minutes from that little town. So go back to jail we'll bring the cash to Winnipeg, come back here, and after that you'll be free. So that was another trick for me to stay longer in jail, in the jail. So they took the cash, brought the cash to Winnipeg, came back, and around 11:30, 12 o'clock I was free. And after that the police told me, that was not in your condition, but we will follow you. And my advice is to quit the province as soon as possible with the first flight the day after. So I went to my hotel room and I changed my flights for the first flight in the morning. And when I was crossing the street to go, because I was living at the airport hotel, I was crossing the street to go to the airport. RCMP police were there, and they just said, "Where are you going?" I'm going to the airport, and I have a flight at 9:30. They said, "Okay, go there, and I don't want to see you here anymore." And that was it, So, but like I said, when I was on Tucker, I'll be back in Manitoba. I'll be back maybe before the 26th of July, and we will win that case. It's against our constitutions. We have freedom of peaceful assembly, freedom of speech. These authoritarian orders are not constitutional. So that was it. And and you have the right to do 2 calls. So I called when I was there. I called my lawyer, and my lawyer told me before, if you're going in jail, you're gonna have. It's your constitutional right to call your lawyer, so they will let you call me maybe 2 times. But sometime, if you ask them if you want to call your wife, they will give you that privilege. So after maybe 6 hours, I said, "Oh, can I call my wife?" "No, you don't have the constitutional right to call your wife, so stay there." So that was it, yeah.
Rules change.
And people ask me about what I said when I was arrested. I said when the police asked me, "Do you have any weapons on you?" First of all, I didn't think about saying that because that was the first time I was arrested. So I don't know that the police ask you if you have any weapons on you or if you have something that can hurt him. I didn't know that. But when he asked that question, I tried to be, I said, weapons, and you can see that on the video. I was surprised. Weapons, I'm a politician. I'm not running around with weapons. So I was surprised about that, and I came with that. No, maybe only my words, only my philosophy, because you're doing that because you don't like what I'm saying, and that can hurt you, what I'm saying, and so that's why I came and I said that, and. So that was
just a moment of inspiration, because it traveled so well.
Yeah.
Those words, just my words.
Yeah.
And my philosophy.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal.
You should work for Hallmark with words like that.
Yes.
So we.
But it's true though.
Yeah, no, it's
It's
true.
100% true. Like you're not.
No,
You're being honest.
Yeah.
That's what was made
Yeah.
so amazing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
but and I saw a video of a priest being arrested in Alberta, and the police came and they arrested him. They didn't handcuff him, they arrested him and the guy walked in the car and that's it. But they handcuffed me like a criminal. Yeah.
Some priests in Alberta did handcuff, I think, though.
Yeah, but the last one was
last
not.
one was-
Yeah, no, they took him in front of his crying children.
Yeah, and the guy,
Yeah.
It's selective political selective enforcement, right?
yeah. So, but 2021, and that I knew them. They were not kind with me. They had a job to do, and they said, that's it. Our politicians told us to do that. We'll do it. And
They were just doing a job. They
Yeah,
didn't.
But and they search you before going into jail.
Did they put the gloves on?
No, they didn't.
So it was not thorough of a search then.
Yeah. Oh my
Well,
God.
I've been on both sides. I've been arrested myself, and I've been also a jail guard.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so I've been on both sides. Obviously, never arrested anyone of your political figure, but so having to ask someone to get naked and then having to be the one, it's degrading. It's and then you're in a cell. You don't know what time it is. You don't know where the sun is. You don't know. You don't know anything. You completely lose track of all your ground, right? It was just.
And there's no bed there, you know.
Yeah.
You just try to relax. And,
well, you gotta. It's a piece. It's just a piece of foam about that thin.
Yeah, but they didn't give me that.
You didn't even get that.
No.
Oh my.
No. Didn't give me that.
Were you there long enough to get food?
But I didn't know at what time, and a lady came at the door, and these doors are very, it's like in a movie when you open the door, the noise.
The noise is
just the, and so she said, "Do you want some food?" And I said, maybe, I don't know what you have. And the same guy who arrested me came and he said, "We don't have any food." And I'm sure they had food, but the guy and look at the lady, and she was like kind of an assistant or something like that. And he said, "We don't have any food." And so
wow.
Yeah. No, but
I've never been in jail.
yeah, but
I've arrested
he
a
said,
lot.
"We don't have any food. It's not a hotel here."
It's not a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I've talked to a lot of people over the last year or so, Canadian citizens, fine, upstanding people who have been in jail, much like you, for much the same reasons. It's very sad.
Well, again, when my friend Nicholas, who you spoke with, we couldn't believe what we were watching as it unfolded. From the legal standpoint, just purely legal. It's okay to go to a vigil or a black lives. Like, you can't be select. Again, that's why Wandsworth coined that selective enforcement. You're purely being selective.
Oh,
purely,
absolutely.
Purely unadulterated selective.
And after my first rally, they gave me 2 tickets, and they told me, if you do your third rally, I said, "It's not a rally; it's a meeting with my people in the park." And he said, "You may be arrested." So after that, I called my lawyer and I told him, do we have a strong case? He said, "Maxime, absolutely. It's a strong case. If you go to jail, we'll fight and we'll win that case." So, but he told me it's at your own risk. You have to take the decision.
Right.
I said, "No, I'll go." And
But I mean, it shouldn't even be a question. That's the whole thing. There shouldn't even be a question whether you can go to these things or not, because it's in your constitutional right to do so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it's.
Tell us a bit about the Tucker Carlson. How did that come about?
Actually, I received a call. That was the Monday, not me, but the party, and with Tucker assistant, and she was a lady, and she asked to speak with me. So I spoke with her. It's like an interview. So I spoke with her for maybe 25 minutes, 20 minutes. About all what happened, and I knew that she wants to know all the story and all the details of the story. And she said, "I will speak with my boss and the editorial board of the Tucker show, and we will decide if you'll be on the show." But I think I will argue that you must be on the show. So after that meeting with her on the phone conversation with her. She wrote me back and she said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in Montreal." And she said, "Okay, I'll call you back." And she called us. She said, "We don't have," and I said, "We can do that by Zoom teleconference." And she said, "No, we don't." They're very professional, I must admit. She said, "We don't do that by Zoom. We are doing that by a real studio. So I'll do some calls to know if we have a studio in Montreal." And she called me back. She said, "We don't have any studio in Montreal." I said, "I'll be in Toronto. I have to be in Toronto Tuesday." And she said, "In Toronto, we are doing business with one studio over there. So just wait." And so at that date, and she said, "Okay, you'll be on the show. You'll have to be at that studio at 8:30. You'll be live at 9:54 or 55, 8:55 or 8:54. And Tucker will ask you maybe 2, maybe 3 questions. So, and that will be at the end of the show." And so I came to that private location and studio, And the guy that opened the door, he looked at me, he said, "I don't know you, sir, but you must be important. Because last time we had Jordan Peterson, we had any named people that came here." So, and he laughed and we had fun. And before being on the show, I was with New York, and they were very competent. They said, "Okay, Mr. Bernier, I want to be sure that Tucker will pronounce very well your name. Can you say your name 3 or 4 or 5 times?" And I did it. And he said, "Okay, I will repeat it. And if I'm not okay, correct me." And he repeat my name, and so that's perfect. You've got the accent. Everything is perfect.
Classy.
He said, "Okay, you'll be on the show in 2 minutes." And so I was live on the show, and I thought I had 2 questions, but I had only 1. And they cut me when I said, and I was able to listen to them. And they said in 10 seconds.
Count you down.
Yeah, so I was speaking and I was able to hear that. So I said, "I'll be back in Winnipeg." Bang, they cut there. But that was, for me, that was not the end of my sentence. I had something to add.
Right.
But when I said, "I'll be back in Winnipeg," they cut it, and after that they said, "You will come in US," and things
Sean
like that.
Hannity,
Yeah.
welcomes you right to the States.
Like,
It was
something
great.
like that. Something like that.
It's amazing how that works.
Yeah, but I wasn't able to see Tucker. It's in from a camera, you don't see.
Right.
And people told me, the face that he did when he was there, he was very.
Yeah, I was gonna say you wouldn't have seen his reaction.
Yeah, I
as you were
didn't see.
oh, okay,
I didn't
okay,
see his
yeah.
reaction. But when I looked at the video, oh my God, he was he was on my side.
Oh, absolutely.
He was upset. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great.
So,
But I didn't receive any call from the Canadian mainstream media.
Of course not.
Not one.
No,
Not
not one.
I've even, again, with our video, I have some contacts through people. They won't respond. I've sent our video directly to get the right side of the story. Let's look at this legally.
Yeah. And I must admit that we had more pickup of that story in English Canada than in Quebec. Oh yeah, in Quebec.
Why do you think that is?
I'm a radical, conservative, or
Makes
right-wing guy.
Gotcha.
So it's all
sense.
leftist.
Yeah.
CBC.
Makes sense.
CBC is very bad, but Radio Canada in French is worse than CBC.
Okay.
So they didn't want so.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah,
I guess.
we did. We had more coverage on English social media and some newspaper in English Canada than in Quebec. Actually, in Quebec, we didn't have any coverage. And the coverage that we had, good for him.
Good for it. Yeah.
Good for him. He's not responsible. He has to follow the law and blah blah blah. Yeah. So
That's unbelievable. It's funny to see the mainstream media's twist on things.
oh yeah.
Right? Like I'm working my degree in public relations right now, so I see ethics, what we're taught as students, and then I see the media completely going against what we're taught in school. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense.
They're activists, leftist activists.
Absolutely, it's cut and paste, and they do what their boss tells them. And it's
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. You're welcome.
absolutely.
Hi,
How are you? Yeah.
I'm official now. I'm official.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Hey.
official as
Yeah,
well.
good.
How are you?
Good, fine.
Good
Thanks,
to see you. Good to
thanks.
see you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Max, can you please elaborate on what you believe the true meaning of the mask is in Canada?
Well, first of all, it's not about science, as everyone knows. It's about compliance. It's about controlling the population. That's the first time in the history of the world that we are using lockdowns and face masks to fight a virus, and that's not efficient. That's an experiment that failed, and that's why we at the People's Party of Canada are against these draconian lockdowns, and we don't want any new normal. We want our life to be back like it was before that. So, and maybe this summer we'll gain some of our freedoms, but I scare that it will be temporary, and maybe this fall they will come back with other lockdowns. So that's why we must do the fight, and that's not the end. That's only the beginning. and you can count on us. You can count on the PPC. We will never surrender our freedom or our constitutional rights, and I think that's important.
What is your position on does the government using fear to intimidate the people and control the people?
I think it's very efficient. It's very efficient because I'll give you the example in my own province in Quebec. With the help of the mainstream media, actually the Quebec government spent $135 million in advertising on COVID last year. That was more than all the other provinces together, and that propaganda was very efficient. People were scared and they were listening to the government, and that's why the Premier of Quebec and other premiers have a lot of support from the population. But now they realize that that was not the solution, and the solution was to protect older people, the most vulnerable in the beginning of the pandemic, and open the economy. That was the solution. And right now I think these authoritarian governments are losing some support, and it's good. So that's why we have a momentum. When I'm saying we, the End the Lockdown Caucus, and myself and people who believe in freedom, we have a kind of a momentum, but that's only the beginning. We need to be out there and to speak about what we believe if we want that to end and this summer and not having any more lockdowns this fall. Because we are in a socialist era right now, that can be that for 5-10 years. And if you want to be in government, you need to be on the side of the majority of the population, and you don't want to educate or inform the population about their conservative values. So it's they think that they will be in government by being socialist or by being like the liberals. That's why I said I quit, because this party is liberal-like and is not conservative anymore. So we created the People's Party of Canada based on 4 principles: individual freedom, personal responsibility, respect, and fairness. And all our policies are in line with these principles. We won't pander to any special interest group. If you like what I'm saying, I hope you'll support us. If you don't like, please don't vote for us. That's, and we think that we have the best ideas, and the more we speak about it, the better it will be, because we'll have more support. So, our weapons is our words, and so that's why we must speak out about what we believe openly, with passion and conviction. And if we are doing that, we will win. But I don't know when. I think it's a nice battle. And I'm doing that with our candidates all across the country, and we will give the opportunity to every Canadian to be able to vote for their values, for what they believe, for freedom, because we'll have a candidate in every riding in this country before the next election.
There's always been some corruption in politics.
Yeah.
But morality and is gone out the door now. What do you think's happened with ethics and morality in government?
Yeah, absolute power corrupt, and that's what we are seeing. When you have establishment politicians that don't believe in any principles, and their only goal is to be in government, they'll do everything to be in government. My end goal is not for me to be Prime Minister a day. Maybe I'll be Prime Minister a day. My end goal is our ideas. We want our ideas to win, and that can happen, if I'm back in Parliament. Look at Elizabeth May and the Green Party. They were not in government. They were not the official opposition. They have only 3 members of Parliament, but they won the battle of ideas on the environment. Every establishment political parties have a huge platform on the environment and climate change. The last one, the Conservative Party of Canada. So she won the battle without being in government. I hope we'll be in government, but we need to win that battle, and we will, because we have the best ideas. So traditional politicians don't think like that. They will try to speak about something when they will have 40% of support in the polls, And for us, if we have only 10% of the population that is believing in our ideas now, we know that we can grow that. We know, it's not because an idea is popular that idea is just and true. An idea does not become just and true because it's popular. And I know that the freedom ideas will become popular because they're just and true.
Your feelings on the current payouts to the media by Justin Trudeau?
The goal in a democracy is to have independent media. And the goal of the Trudeau government is to have dependent media, dependent from the government. So that's why you don't have now, they're not journalists anymore, these mainstream national media. They're not journalists, they're leftist activists. And they have a point of view and they just want to present that point of view. That's why, the population right now in Canada is polarized. You have the media, the government on our side, and us, the opposition, the real opposition. And so when our point of view is not in the mainstream media, you cannot have a consensus. So because of that, it's bad for the society. The only way that we can speak to Canadians it's by social media, but now it's risky because there's a lot of censorship on social media also. So I think the mainstream media are not journalists anymore. They are working for the Liberal Party of Canada, and because Trudeau bail out them and gave them a lot of money. And CBC is the worst. The government is giving $1 billion to CBC, and so they cannot be independent. So that's why our goal as a political party is to be out there and speaking with local media, local newspaper, local radio station, and also social media, and like what I'm doing right now.
Your response to how the government's handled the pandemic and vaccines?
No, first, it's. I think what they did, it's very sad. They killed the economy. They killed the small businesses. For us, every business is essential, but for the government, that wasn't the case. These lockdowns were also very bad for the population, for their health. When you cannot have the surgeries that you're supposed to have because of these lockdowns, we had a health system focused only on COVID-19, and that we are paying that price right now. So the solution of that would have been to just protect the older people and let the economy, let the society do what they want to do. So that's why. And on vaccine, we believe in free choice. We believe in freedom of choice. People must be free to decide if they want the vaccine or not. And that's okay. But they must have also the right information to be able to decide if they want the vaccine or not. And so right now, I think it's immoral that the government are pushing the vaccine like that with lotteries and giving gifts to young people. And they're pushing the vaccines to people between 12 years old to 18 years old, when we know now that the World Health Organization said that younger people between 12 and 18 don't need the vaccine. And so, but now in Canada, we're doing the opposite. We are pushing them and we are giving them gifts if they go and have the vaccine. That must be their choice. We'll see what will happen. But the way that they manage that crisis, maybe right now I'm the only one who is saying that that was not the solution. That was a bad solution for our society. But I believe that in 2, 3, or 5 years, when people will look back at that, they will agree with us.
I got 2 more questions. This one, I want to know your key issues that you're running on clearly, so people understand what you're all about.
But first, it's freedom, against cancel culture, for free speech, against censorship on social media, against Bill C-10, Bill C-36. That's 2 bills that the Trudeau government tabled in the House this week. against freedom of expression on social media. So it's important that people must know that. But also, immigration, that will be important in the next election. We are not for mass immigration. We don't believe in mass immigration. We believe in sustainable immigration. And also, if we have the election this fall, it will be about ending the lockdowns forever. No more lockdowns. That will be important. So, and we are the only political party in Ottawa that is speaking about that, against the lockdown, for fewer immigrants, sustainable immigration, for free speech, for freedom, for smaller government that will respect Canadians and taxpayers. So I think that would be important in the next campaign. And I'm very pleased that we'll have candidates all across the country that will promote our freedom ideas.
So you spent some time in jail, and then you become a rock star in the United States of America.
Yeah, but I didn't expect that in Canada to go to jail for non-crime after a political gathering, and that was political repression. I know that because the Premier of Manitoba, Mr. Pallister, said the day before I arrived in Manitoba that I was not welcome, and if I'm coming, he said something like that, my wallet, he will empty my wallet, something like that. So they didn't want any opposition there, and they didn't want any debate, they didn't want any discussion. And Manitoba is the worst province in our country right now, because they're going also ahead with a vaccine passport, and that will be important. And we are against vaccine passport. I don't believe that you need to have to show a vaccine passport to go to a hockey game or a rock concert or something like that. It will be like a communist country. A country that asking their citizens, show me your papers if you want to do something or not. So, and Manitoba are looking for the implementation of a vaccine passport in Manitoba. So that government and that despot politician didn't want me to promote freedom ideas, and the best way to do that is to stop me to do my rallies and put me in jail, and they did that. So I didn't expect that that happened. I knew that I had a risk to be arrested, but that in Canada in 2021, that's not my country anymore. That's why we have to fight to bring back our country, the country that we love, and that's not the country that we used to live in.
Can I ask one more?
Okay.
The woke agenda and cancel culture.
Yeah. It's first of all, we must be proud to be Canadians. I'm very upset that some cities across the country decided not to celebrate the 1st of July. I will celebrate the 1st of July. I'll be on the hill in Ottawa. And we must be proud to be Canadians. And I'm a patriot. I believe in this country. I believe in Canadians. So that woke culture and try to reinvent our history. I'm not playing that game. It's all about political correctness. And I said when we created the People's Party that for me, I'm saying no to political correctness. I'm saying no to woke culture. I'm saying no to cancel culture. We need to debate. We need to have a discussion. And we think that we have the best solution. We have a vision for this country. And that's why the platform that we ran on at the last election, our first election as a political party in 2019, is the same one at this campaign. That will be the same platform. And the next election, that will be the same platform, because we're the only political party that is speaking about bold reforms for a freer and a more prosperous country. So we won't do any survey and polling to know what you want to hear. No, we think that we know. We have a vision for this country, and we know that what must be done to be sure that we'll be free again in this country.
Super, thanks, Max.
Thank you.
Wrap this up. I got one more question
Yeah.
for you. At what point, Max, would you pinpoint that the country is for the people and we elect a government? At what point did the country become all about the government and not the people, in your humble opinion?
Yeah, it's all about the government. Actually, it's all about bureaucrats and politicians in Ottawa that know better than you. And we at the People's Party, we believe in people. We believe that you have the ability, the dignity, and the right to make your own decisions and determine your own destiny. That's why we want a smaller government in Ottawa that will respect our constitution, that will respect people, that will respect taxpayers, and that's the only way to have a prosperous country. So it's all about people, and it's not about controlling and government. That's a big difference with us and all these old establishment political parties.